Yo, this your boy EC22 of the FairWeather Fan channel, man. We're in here for another live podcast. Before I go into it, let me check my settings real quick, y'all. I actually usually check my audio before jumping on. Well, I just want to make sure that all is well. Look like all is well. All right, then. Um, Before I go any further, man, please like, subscribe, share, join the conversation, man. I appreciate you guys for watching this podcast. And really, I really do appreciate it. But y'all, let's dive into sports. As you see the header, man, listen, we're going to dive into a little bit more WNBA. And I get it. I get it, y'all. Those you are a fan of sports, you may not necessarily like the WNBA. And let me say this to you guys or girls respectfully. I love the WNBA. The women, I love athleticism, and I love what they bring to the game of basketball. So with that being said, if you're not a fan of the WNBA or any sport that's talked about on this show, please keep your comments to yourself. And also, if you don't like a sport, a particular sport, remember, you are not qualified to have an opinion. I'm sorry. That's just the way life is. If you don't like a sport, you are not qualified to have an opinion other than to say, I don't like the sport. But as the conversation goes on about that particular sport, please excuse yourself from that particular conversation if you don't like that sport. And then I digress. So here we are. We're going to talk about the WNBA real quick, man. It's a little bit after 6:30, man. Once again, thank you guys for joining. Right now, we're just less than a month away for the WNBA playoffs, man. And listen, is getting to that point like any other professional sports. As you are approaching the playoffs, things get a little more interesting and exciting to watch. But I have to give honor and where honor is due and where respect is due. Caitlin Clark has brought so much energy to the WNBA, and I give her all the credit she deserves for doing so. It's completely her doing. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenal basketball player. Never a doubt in my mind. I just didn't like the fact that how she came to this league, but yet she was a great player. She's a good player. I just like the fact that other players was overlooked because of her. But that's it. But like I said, that was the only reason why. But she is a great WNBA player, and I appreciate her for that. But y'all, her greatness is not going unnoticed. She's a phenomenal basketball player. She is. She's top 10 in scoring. So I got to give her that. But she has been making history, and the last history she made was yesterday. She made history. This is her 21st game scoring at least 15 points and 5 assists. And she is the only WNBA player who has done this. In 21 games, have scored 15 and 5. That's phenomenal. That put her in the category of the greats. And you got to give honor where honor's due. And there is another record that she will probably break, no doubt about it, this season. Also, yesterday, she has tied the rookie three-point record at 85 threes this season with Ryan Howard of the Atlanta Dreams. And that's who they played on Monday. So she tied Ryan Howard in their matchup on Monday night, 85 threes. So it goes without saying she will break the rookie three-point record this season. It goes without saying. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenal player. Y'all, and once again, I'm going to walk back and explain some things. The WNBA is a women's professional league. And I get that some of the guys out there want to see guys playing out women, and that is your prerogative. But please, let's not forget the women in athletics. We love women basketball. At least I do. I support all things women and women basketball. So please, if you don't like, please, pretty please, keep your comments to yourself. And that's going to be the theme to tonight. Now let's move on to Angel Reese, who also made history. She is now amongst only 3 NBA or WNBA players to record 20 or more rebounds in 3 consecutive games. And y'all, and she's in good company. Let's talk about Hall of Famer Ben Wallace, who did this in 2003. Let's talk about Hall of Famer and 75th anniversary team member Wilt Chamberlain, who did this in 1973. Now here comes 2024 Angel Reese All-Star, who does this year, who scored 3 consecutive games of 20 more 20 or more rebounds. That is also exciting. Along with Caitlin Clark, these two women has been in controversy, or not controversy, has been the talk. People have chosen sides. People say they like Angel. People say they like Caitlin, and there's just been a lot of trippiness going on both sides. They has divided a lot of people because of what happened in LSU and Iowa, but needless to say, both these women has came to the WNBA, and they has made their mark on this particular franchise. And I love it. Great job, women. Now, I have to express this concern that everybody has been trolling Angel Reese about, and probably rightfully so. Angel Reese is averaging 43.6% field goal when she's 5 feet or closer to the basket. Yo, that's a problem. That is a very, very, very alarming problem. When she's 5 feet or closer, she's averaging 43%. At a girl who's 6'4", should be scoring a little bit more. And everybody has been trolling and saying, oh, she's a brick queen with all this other stuff like that. And I get it. But even with all of that, she is still averaging a double-double, which puts her as 21st and 27th in scoring in the WNBA. Now, I get it. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenal scorer, like I say, top 10 on the list. But the reason why I say that some of this energy or this trolling or this negative feedback towards Angel is somewhat a little bit unjustified, because just as you look at Angel Reese and her flaws and her greatness, you got to also acknowledge, at least acknowledge the flaws of Caitlin Clark, which many of you haven't done so. Do you know, when it comes to defense, Angel Reese is 26 in defense out of 154 players. However, Caitlin Clark is 101 ranked in defense out of 154 players. Although Caitlin Clark is a phenomenal offensive player, she is garbage when it comes down to defense. And let's call it what it is. And I know in the world of competition, everybody wants to see somebody scoring the basket, and that's where all the fanfare comes from. But we got to acknowledge what's need to be acknowledged. If you're going to sit around and say, okay, Angel Reese, your double-doubles are not that impressed because you're shooting 43% under the basket, I get all that, and we can accept that, and she can accept that, and she can grow from it. But do not overlook Caitlin Clark's lack of defensive ability. Even she knows she need to get better on defense. If we're going to sit around and have this Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark back and forth, I just like, hey, let them play. Man, listen, they're good basketball players. And yeah, some say, well, the reason why Angel Reese gets so many rebounds because she get on rebounds that she missed. Once again, when you watch those games, yes, her first shot may be a little bit off the rim and over the basket. But the last game I watched, there was a point where I think she maybe got 3 or 4 rebounds in a row, but she's down there in the paint with 4 other defenders. So how is this girl still getting rebounds? Everybody's talking about the missed shots, but she's guarded by 4 people. Now, that's not always the case, but a lot of times it is. And she's still hustling and getting rebounds off her missed shots. And eventually, all of it either leads to a foul or her eventually putting the ball in the basket amongst 3 to 4 defenders while everybody's sitting around watching. So let's just call it what it is. Yes, her 43% under the basket is not impressive, speaking of Angel Reese. But at the end of the day, she's tough. And I believe, and I hope, and I believe she will improve. Just like as great of a scorer Caitlin Clark is, her defense is terrible. This is both of these young women, rookie year, they will progress and get better in their areas of weakness. They still got a lot of time left. They got a lot of professional basketball to play. Let's just leave it, call it what it is. All right? As we transition this conversation down into the NFL, before I go to NFL, one of my buddies, he sent me this message. 2 messages from number one. He sent me this I guess is an Instagram post. And it says, it was a post saying what I learned playing against grown men that AAU didn't teach me. It is my boy Ty. He frequents the show, whatever. And it is very, very funny in this thing. and it has a caption of a white man can't jump with Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. But it said, what I've learned playing against grown men that AAU didn't teach me. I want to share this with you guys. He said, I grew up playing pickup against grown men at the parks. There are so many lessons you've learned as a kid, ages 11 through 17, in that environment. Here are some of my younger generation hoopers that missed out. This is what my younger generation missed out on the blacktop courts with the toilet bowl double rims. Yeah, y'all, if you know what that is. He says, number one, be efficient offensively. When a grown man OG with pride decides to defend you, he will shut you down. We know that. When you get old man, he ain't gonna let you score. He'll follow you all the way to your car. The difference level of physical play and strength are smart. Basically, you can learn how to play defense on the blacktop, not necessarily in AAU. Compete for your life was number 2 in the situation. Winners stay on, losers go home. We know when you got a busy day at the park, you can have all these teams out there. You have five or six teams that are coming on behind you. If you lose that one game, you might as well get on off the court. What up, Blue, man? Thank you for watching, man. And once again, join us at the top of the hour of Faith Talk Sports Radio at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock. But yo, say winners stay on, losers go home. Now we have this thing where there's a board in pickup play, but this is old school basketball in AAU. They like to try to make sure that everybody get a chance to play. And it says the lesson is so underrated, in my opinion, with AAU. It's hard to be hungry when you're always fed, which means you're always given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to compete in AAU. But in the blacktop, if you don't win, there's no more opportunity. And the guy kind of leaves his final statement. He said, I might be the last generation of those kids because AAU has grown into a year-round pay-to-play business. And I can leave it at there. And we know what that is. You know, the kids, they play to get on, and they're pretty much, for all intents and purposes, guaranteed playing time. Versus the blacktop, listen, you ain't got to get picked. And I remember those days where I get out there and people look at you dead in your face like, nah, I don't want you. Then you be the guy say, I got him next, and then you're trying to pick players for your team, and God look you in your face like, nah, I'm good, dog. I don't want to be on your squad. And it was just harsh lessons we learned to get our game tight, you know? And that's just where it is. So then my boy Ty goes on and he leaves this another post, which is funny, and I got to share with you guys. Here's a question concerning LeBron James. It says, he said to me, he said, Eric, topic for the podcast. Will J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, or LeBron James get their 5th ring? Y'all, that was hilarious. Y'all, if y'all don't know, J-Lo has been married 4 times. She's on the 4th marriage with Ben Affleck. And it's kind of been a thing with her. She married somebody for a few years, and then they get divorced. And so this was like a funny nub of J-Lo. But who would get their 5th ring first, J-Lo or LeBron James, y'all? Funny. Hey, as we transition now into the NBA, remember the top of the hour in about 17 minutes. Join us over at Faith Talk Sports Radio with boy Louis Mefford, man. Let's get to some key NFL cuts, and then I will give you guys your day back. NFL cuts, there are some key cuts. First of all, hold up. Let's just do it. Let me give you one of these to Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. Thank you, finally, for getting it done with CeeDee Lamb. This has been the most weirdest and unnecessary off seasons for the Dallas Cowboys. But it's something that we're used to, and I don't like it. As a fan of the Cowboys, and even as a fan of NFL sports, I don't like it. I don't know what type of situation CeeDee Lamb is going to come into. I don't know what type of mind frame he's going to be coming into. I hope he comes and play. He got his bag. I hope he still comes to compete. Because now with $38 million signing bonus, and I don't know how much of his contract is guaranteed, how do you motivate a millionaire? That's always the question. Especially after this rocky situation with Jerry Jones and the family. I don't know. I don't know if this is something that was scripted. I don't know. But as a fan of football and a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, this don't look and it don't feel right. Because other players and other organizations got it done quick. And here we are, we had to endure this nonsense of a tug of war between both parties, and it just didn't make any sense to do it, especially if you come down this route. And I got to give a comment to my boy G, who comes on this show, and he says this. He said, CeeDee Lamb broke the bank. Now Dak knows without a shadow of a doubt that he's finna get paid. He said, you cannot pay a wide receiver that kind of money, then dump the quarterback. Lou, we can bring that up on Facebook, Space Talk Sports Radio on your show, but that is, and I didn't even respond. That question was yesterday at 5:07 p.m., and I'm reading to you guys, but I've yet to respond to G because I'm like, I don't know how to respond because part of me believes that is true. I don't know what they're going to do with that contract, but this is where we are with all these shenanigans going on with Jerry Jones and the family. But I digress. Let's move on to the NFL cuts, man. Listen, I won't before you long. I'm almost off this thing. Kansas City Cadet cuts Kadarius Toney. That is no surprise to us after what happened last year. They gave him a chance in preseason, and they decided to go ahead and part ways with him. The New England Patriots, they cut ways with Bailey Zappi. Y'all, why? Oh, I thought this was the kid who's supposed to be the next wave. He's supposed to be the future. Nope. Bailey Zappi is now, I don't know. I think he's going to Home Depot. I don't know. No, I'm just playing. Hopefully he'll get a job somewhere. Hopefully get a job in sports, commentating as a coach somewhere. I don't know. I hope his NFL career is not over with, and maybe somebody will pick him up on their reserve squad. I don't know. Dallas Cowboys cut Malik Davis and Royce Freeman. Malik Davis, I get. But Royce, I'm still, somebody help me with this. I thought he had a decent preseason. I just don't understand why they cut Royce. I get it. And I get that everybody liked the little guy. I can't always remember his name when I need to, but Deuce Vaughn, I know everybody liked Deuce. We got Zeke. And who else? I forget the other guy that they would have had to subscribe to, but man, I thought Royce Freeman at least earned the RB3 spot, but I guess not. Detroit Lions has cut away with the veteran Donovan Peoples-Jones, and some people are probably clapping, but a person like me, I hate to see old guys go. I hate it. I still feel like there's a spot, but it is what it is. Now, this is funny. Arizona Cardinals cut Desmond Ridder. He was the quarterback for Atlanta last year, and he got benched, and then he goes over to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals like, we good. I think Desmond Ridder got a lot of football left. I think he got a lot of room to improve. Hopefully, he can come off the bench or reserve for somebody, and hopefully, not that I want to put this on any quarterback that they get hurt or whatever, but hopefully some point and sometime Desmond Ridder will give another shot at being at least a backup QB. To say to him to be cut, it's kind of crazy. I thought he was decent, especially a backup. The Houston Texans has cut ways with Noah Brown, and shame on you, Stephon Diggs, for going there because Noah Brown had some good upside to him, but because that receiver core is so stacked, Noah Brown fell victim, and I'm sorry about that, but we all know Noah Brown will not be out there long. Somebody's going to pick him up if they ain't already. So, y'all, this has been the FairWeather Fan podcast, y'all. I'm about to say IVYP. Y'all, let me go ahead and explain to you what I meant when I about to say IVYP. I have another podcast. It's a Christian-based podcast on Spotify called I Value Your Perspective Podcast. Since I got time, this is my plug. Please go to Spotify, type in I Value Your Perspective Podcast, or just type in Eric Curtis. You're going to see both podcasts. You're going to see the FairWeather Fan podcast as well. You're going to see the I Value Your Perspective podcast. I Value Your Perspective podcast, like I say, is a podcast that's centered around Christian conversation. Please join us over there. I got a few more episodes I'm about to upload here either today or tomorrow night. Man, I've been having fun doing these podcasts, man. But once again, man, I appreciate you guys here at the FairWeather Fan podcast. Man, once again, like, subscribe, share, leave comments. And let me throw this out there before I get off. I have a fantasy football league called More Than a Game Fantasy Football League over on ESPN Fantasy Football. Listen, I got 2 more spots that need to be filled. Otherwise, I'm going to have to cut it down to a 10-man team. Right now, I'm trying to get 12, but I got to make a decision between now and tomorrow. Otherwise, I'm going to cut it down to a 10-man roster. If you are interested in joining the More Than a Game Fantasy Football League, please leave a comment email me, or whatever you got to do. Leave a comment on Facebook, YouTube. Make sure I get it, and I will definitely send you the invite. But if I don't hear anything by anybody between now and tomorrow, I will put the league down to 10, and we'll just roll with 10 guys. And listen, I got to let you know how it's done, because there is no buy-in, a cash buy-in for this particular fantasy football league. However, there is money that will be given. The first prize comes, whoever comes out number one in the draft will get $50. The person who's trending the most after week 7 will get $50. The person who is the number one seed at the end of the season will get $50. And the person who wins it all will either get $100 or a NFL jersey of their choosing. So it's up to $250 to be obtained in this fantasy football league with no money on your part. No risk on you, but it's all given and thrown out there by me, the FairWeather Fan. So I'm throwing it out there. Y'all, it's been great having a fun time with you guys. Join us at the top of the hour, Faith Talk Sports Radio with your boy Lewis Medford, Coach Mateus Turner, and the Officer Tawakoni Claiborne. And I am out.